All right, welcome to another deep dive.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, looks like we've got some interesting stuff to talk about today. Our listeners have sent in some really great stuff about success, um, and particularly aimed at
Yeah.
young adults and teens. So
Mhm.
we're here to break it all down.
Absolutely.
We're diving into some excerpts from a book that uses a really interesting metaphor. It compares reaching your goals to building a house.
Oh, wow.
So
That's pretty
this
unique.
is very creative.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear how the author kind of makes that connection.
Well, the first thing that he stresses is that success is totally personal.
Oh, okay.
It's all about what you want,
Right.
not what other people think you should want.
Mm-hmm.
And he even talks about how his youngest kid's version of success is getting a purple sticker at school because it means a treat at the end of the day.
Makes sense. You know, what's fascinating here is how this highlights self-awareness. I mean, knowing what you truly desire, not what your parents, friends, or society expect, is the most important foundation. It's like choosing the right blueprint before you even start building that house, right?
Yeah.
You got to have that foundation.
Mm-hmm.
So what does your version of success look like?
Yeah.
What's that treat that you're working towards? Take a second to really picture that. All right, now the author says, before you start building, you've got to count the cost.
Okay.
What do you think he means by that?
Well, I think it's about honestly assessing what it takes to reach that goal,
Right.
right? Just like building a house requires materials, time, and effort, your goals will demand certain sacrifices, effort, and maybe even setbacks.
Right.
So it's about acknowledging those potential costs up front,
Yeah.
being real with yourself.
Yeah. And he actually shares a story about almost going down the wrong path himself. He was all set to study physical therapy.
But his coach made him really think about what that commitment would involve. And he realized it wasn't a good fit after all.
Wow. So this raises an important question. Are you truly willing to put in the work for your goals?
Yeah.
And what might those hidden costs be? Maybe it's less free time, having to say no to fun things sometimes, or even the possibility of failing and having to try again, which is okay.
That's deep.
It is. It is. But it's
Yeah.
part of the journey.
So you've defined your success.
Right.
You've counted the cost.
Yes.
What's next?
Yeah.
The author says it's all about winning behaviors.
Okay.
What are winning behaviors?
He argues that it's not enough to simply say you want something. Your actions have to match your ambitions.
Yeah.
Every decision, even little things you do each day, should be moving you towards your goals. He actually has a quote that I really like. He says, "Your behavior tells on you."
That's a powerful quote.
Yes, okay.
So what are some examples of
Mhm.
winning behaviors?
Oh, it really depends on your goal, of course. I mean, if we stick with the house metaphor, maybe one winning behavior is like carefully reviewing the blueprints each day
Okay.
to make sure you're building the right thing.
I like that. Yeah.
It could be choosing to spend an hour learning a new skill instead of, scrolling through social media, or making a healthy meal instead of grabbing fast food.
Yeah, it's like every
About
small
not just
choice
small.
is a brick, and you're
Yeah.
using them to build either your dream house or, well, something less impressive.
Right. Exactly. Those small choices might seem insignificant on their own, but they reveal your priorities and shape your path. They really do.
Okay, listener, here's a challenge for you.
I like this.
What's one small change you can make today that would be a winning behavior for reaching your goal?
Write it down.
Write it down.
It's
Let's
like-
see what happens.
Let's see what happens. Now, the author throws in another interesting idea. He says, you can't achieve what you don't have the capacity for.
Interesting. What does that mean? Is he saying that some people are just
Yeah.
doomed to fail?
Well, not at all. When he talks about capacity, he's referring to your mindset, your focus, your resilience. It's that inner strength and mental toughness that allows you to keep going even when things get challenging.
So it's like having the right tools and materials to build that house,
Yeah.
but also the skills and knowledge to use them effectively.
Exactly.
Okay.
And just like a builder can learn new construction techniques, you can develop your capacity over time. You can get better at these things.
Well, it's not about being born with some special talent. It's about cultivating those inner qualities.
Precisely. And this connects back to those winning behaviors.
Okay.
Every time you make a choice that aligns with your goals, even when it's hard, you're essentially doing a mental workout. You're getting stronger.
So it's like building muscle,
Yeah,
but for your mind.
exactly.
That's actually pretty cool. We've covered a lot of ground already.
We have.
But we're just getting started. We'll be right back to continue our deep dive into success. Welcome back to the deep dive. We're getting into some pretty deep stuff here, talking about capacity, mindset, and all those inner qualities that help you build success.
Yeah, and it's not about like being born with these qualities,
Right.
but rather developing them over time. Just like training for a marathon. You wouldn't just show up on race day expecting to win without putting in the work.
Such a great point. So how do we actually build this capacity? Are there like specific exercises or techniques that we can use?
Well, it's more about like consistent effort and the choices you make every day.
Okay.
Remember those winning behaviors that we talked about?
Yes.
Each time you choose to practice a skill, learn something new, or push past your comfort zone, you're strengthening your capacity.
So it's like each small choice is a rep in the mental gym. That
Mhm.
makes it a lot less intimidating. But I think it's easy to get discouraged, especially for like young adults and teens. It's like,
Mhm.
what if I mess up? What if I fail?
That's where resilience comes in, and that's a key part of capacity.
Mm-hmm.
The author doesn't say that you won't face setbacks.
Yeah.
He actually emphasizes that failures are inevitable, but it's how you bounce back that matters.
So it's not about being perfect all the time, but learning from those mistakes and using them as fuel to keep going.
Exactly. Think about it like building a house. Sometimes a wall might not be straight,
Mm-hmm.
or a beam might be a little off.
Right.
A skilled builder doesn't just give up, they adjust, they
Mhm.
learn, and they keep building.
Wow. I've never thought of it that way. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's all part of the process.
Mhm.
And this is where mindset comes in, right? Believing that you can learn and grow, even from mistakes. It's about seeing challenges as opportunities to improve rather than reasons to quit.
So instead of thinking, I'm not good at this, it's more like, I'm not good at this yet.
Exactly. It's about embracing that growth mindset
Yes.
and realizing that you have the power to shape your abilities through effort and dedication.
That's a powerful shift in perspective.
Yeah.
But with so much going on in life, especially for young adults and teens, how do you even stay focused
Yeah.
on building this capacity and working towards your goals?
Well, the author talks about the importance of avoiding distractions and becoming a jack of all trades, master of none.
Ooh, I've heard that saying before. But what does it actually mean
Yeah.
in terms of achieving success?
Well, it means that you can't be everything to everyone or chase every shiny object that comes your way.
Right.
You have to prioritize your goals
Yeah.
and make deliberate choices about where you invest your time and energy. Be focused.
So it's about being really intentional with your actions
Mhm.
and making sure they align with your overall vision.
Precisely. Think about it in terms of building a house again. You wouldn't start adding a swimming pool or a fancy deck before you've even finished the foundation and the walls.
Right.
You have to focus on the essential elements first. Get the base down.
That's a great analogy. It's about laying those essential bricks first, then adding the extras once you have a solid structure.
And this applies to all areas of life,
Yeah.
whether it's school, sports, creative pursuits, or even relationships. Learning to prioritize, to say no to distractions,
Yeah.
and to focus on what truly matters is essential for building lasting success.
So it's not about cutting out all the fun stuff, but being mindful about how you spend your time
Yes.
and making sure your actions support your goals.
Exactly. And it's a skill that takes practice. Don't beat yourself up if you get distracted sometimes. Just gently guide yourself back to what's important.
Okay, we've talked about capacity, mindset, focus, and winning behaviors. It feels like we're starting to see how all these pieces fit together to create a blueprint for success.
Yeah, it's all connected, isn't it?
It is. And I think the key takeaway here is that success is not some magical destination, but a continuous journey of growth and development.
That's a really great way to put it.
It's about constantly learning, pushing yourself, and refining those skills and qualities that help you build a strong foundation for anything you want to achieve.
And the most important thing is to believe in yourself and your ability to achieve great things.
Mhm.
As the author puts it, don't be your own hindrance.
This is amazing. I'm feeling so inspired right now. But we're just about out of time for this part. We'll be back soon to wrap things up. Welcome back to the deep dive. It feels like we've really built something special here with this whole House of Success metaphor.
Yeah, it's a great way to visualize the process, isn't it?
It is.
We've talked about laying the foundation with self-awareness,
Mm.
counting the cost of our dreams,
Yeah.
using winning behaviors as building blocks,
Yes.
and developing the capacity to keep going even when things get tough.
And something I really appreciate about the author's approach is that he doesn't sugarcoat things.
Yeah.
Like, He's upfront about the fact that there
Yeah.
will be challenges, setbacks, and
Right.
moments where you might feel like giving up.
Absolutely. It's going to happen. It's part of it.
So what's fascinating here is his emphasis on the journey, not just the destination.
Right.
Success isn't about
Mhm.
being perfect or having all the answers from the start.
Exactly.
It's about
Mhm.
embracing the process of learning, adapting, and growing along the way.
It's all about growth.
He even uses a phrase I love. He says, success is about learning
Ooh.
how not to be your own hindrance.
Oh, I like that.
What do you think he means by that?
I think it's about recognizing that we often hold ourselves back with self-doubt, negative self-talk, and limiting beliefs.
Hmm.
We get in our own way. But by cultivating a positive mindset, by believing in our potential, and by taking consistent action, we can overcome those internal obstacles.
It's like we're not just building a house.
Mm-hmm.
We're also becoming better architects and builders along the way.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Every challenge we overcome,
Yeah.
every skill we learn, every time we push past our comfort zone, we're adding to our toolkit and strengthening our ability to create the life we want.
So, listener, as we wrap up this deep dive into success, what's one small step you can take today to keep building that house of your dreams?
Yeah, what's one brick you can lay today?
Remember, it's not about giant leaps or overnight transformations. It's about those consistent winning behaviors that add up over time.
I think that's so important to remember. We get so focused on, wanting the end result.
Right.
But it really is about enjoying the process along the way and those small steps that get you there.
And remember, the author's key message: believe in yourself. You have the potential to achieve amazing things. Don't be your own hindrance.
That's it.
Thanks for joining us on this journey of exploration. We'll see you next time for another fascinating deep dive.